doing little whatnots just to get underneath your skin, carrying their pads and helmets after practice, getting them Gatorade, getting them a snack and bringing it to their room late at night. And then at my rookie party, they really did me and my rookie party. We went to this restaurant called the Top of the Triangle. All the offensive linemen were there, and then they invited the training staff there. So we had about 14 to 15 people. I had to keep an open bar. Everybody had lobster and steak. Everybody had a bottle of wine, a Dom Perignon per table, 3 stretch limos, a club. So I charged about $6,500 on that night. Just that one night.
Wow.
Taking them out to dinner, limos, and all the other kind of crap. I was still pissed at those guys about that. So if I see them, they owe me some money. Because some of that stuff was unnecessary. The bar tab was crazy. The shots those guys were taking, the shots, the $20 cigars, they didn't just get one cigar. They just got the whole box and started smoking them. They buy bottles and shots, and it was crazy. But, I was a rookie. I was a first-round guy, and I had to do it. But, every rookie. When I got in a position of power, I never did rookies like that. I never did. Even when I was in Jacksonville, I had an opportunity to do rookies like that, but I never did. And I know. But, they got me. But it was good. It was all in fun. All those guys were class acts. They're still good friends of mine to this day. But when I see them, I do remind them. But it's all in fun, though. But I can just imagine now what these guys are spending at the restaurants and limos and booty shakers and all that stuff that goes along with being a rookie. So I just imagine.
So you went from college and a big party college on top of that, but to be with players like Neil O'Donnell, Barry Foster, Merrill Hogue, Levon Kirkland, Greg Lloyd, Rod Woodson. Some of these guys are in the Hall of Fame. Did you feel lost in the shuffle at any point?
No, I didn't. Because you got to remember. I come from Miami. I knew there was a great. And maybe that was a bit arrogant of me to think that way, and the rich tradition of being a Pittsburgh Steeler. But they would always chime on me for being a bit arrogant. Yeah, I've heard Rod Woodson and Greg Lloyd come to me all the time and say, "Hey, you go with that Miami stuff." And I didn't really know what Miami stuff was. I didn't know what Miami stuff was, but I just, they didn't see a lot of linemen come in there and just know. I didn't think I was good because I just said I thought I was good. I thought I was good because I put in the work and the time and the effort on and off the field, in the film room, in the weight room. So when I got on the field, if I'm whooping ass, I let you know it. I talked a little smack, because I knew that my game was at a point where I could talk smack. And a lot of guys took that quiet down, keep it, but hey, listen, I tell you what, Coach Cowher loved it. He loved that swagger that I had offensively, especially the offensive line, because I got after you and I let you know it. I did. I went 100 miles per hour every day in practice. Every day in practice. I had sometimes the offensive line would tell me, hey, I had the veterans tell me a couple of times when I was there the first couple of years that, hey, because we used to run gases, and I was a tip-top shape. I was like Forrest Gump. I could just run, and run. So I used to run the gases so fast that a lot of veterans would get pissed off because one of the veterans, a guy named John Jackson, he was a left tackle on the team. He told me, Searcy, don't you run this damn gas that fast no more. And I looked at him like, okay. I said, okay, really? So they blew the whistle, and the offensive lineman started running, and I just stand there. Coach Cowher said, man, what are you doing? I said, I'm giving them a little time, Coach. I'll catch up. So I gave them about a 40-yard head start and then ran them down and still beat them. That was just my way of letting him know that, you just can't say certain stuff to me. But Coach Cowher, he loved that. He loved my aggression. He loved my confidence. He loved my swag. He loved all that kind of stuff about me on that team. when was the last time, I mean, when he drafted me first, and when a coach comes in his first year and the first player he drafts is a lineman, is that he's letting you know right now what we're going to be about. We're going to run the ball. That's what we were at Pittsburgh. We're going to play hard-nosed. We're going to get after you. We're going to run the ball. We're going to control the clock, and we're going to be nasty up front. I think that says a lot about what he did coming in his first year, taking a lineman, 11 pick overall. Because, I mean, the sexy thing would have been for him to go draft a receiver or a running back or somebody like that. But he drafted a lineman. So that says a lot about what kind of mentality he was trying to bring to the Steelers, because he drafted me. And I'm not saying that in any arrogant, egotistical way. I'm just saying that kind of defines what Cowell was all about. That hard hat, bring your lunch pail, no nonsense, go to work. And he had already gotten that from the guy I'm sure the University of Miami told them what they were getting by drafting me. And that's what I was all about in Miami. I was hard-nosed. I was going to bring my hard hat, my lunch pail, and I was going to go to work. I was going to put the time in. I was going to be physical and nasty and intense on the field. And I'm sure he got that from Miami, and I'm sure he wanted that on the Steelers when I was there.
All right. Matt's been dying to ask this next question.
Yeah, I think about this all the time. You had mentioned it, the trash talk. And look, this is something that the NFL doesn't, if you're just an average fan, you don't get to see that. And I can see him on the sidelines. And, I mean, you watch the plays, but we can't hear any of that. What is the trash talking like? I mean, and you kind of mentioned it. Everyone is talking trash. And even, I mean, give us a sample. We don't have FCC guidelines. Let us have it. What kind of stuff are people saying to each other? How bad is it really? And who was the worst trash talker that you played against?
Well, I tell you what. I tell you who really got me. I'm not going to say his name, but we had some pretty intense battles back and forth. And I remember, how you come out early on the field, you kind of stretch and warm up or whatever. And I'm out there on the field before the game, stretching and warming up. And this defensive end comes out there. He sees me out there. And remember now, we're in Jacksonville. He said, "Hey, Searcy, ain't that your lady wearing my jersey in the stands?" And my dumb behind turns around and looks like she better not have your damn jersey on in the stands. But it was funny, but it wasn't funny because me and him had a history of going at each other, and you don't go after the lady. So he made it personal, and we made it personal the whole game. You never get into the kids or the mamas or anything like that, but you want to get under guys' skin during the game, and it's a lot of trash talk. It's the mental aspect of the game. Some guys can handle it, some don't. It just gives you that competitive edge. I know only time I really trash talk is when I know I've got an opponent exactly where I want him, and there's no way I'm controlling the game. Now, there's certain guys that when they're down, you don't want to poke the bear and wake them up. I had an incident like that when I was in Jacksonville, and I was playing next to a right guard, and it was in the playoffs, where the Dolphins played us in the playoffs and the divisional round, and we beat the Dolphins 62-7 in that game. But at halftime, we were beating them 42 to nothing at halftime.
Wow.
So we had a play. Yeah, we had a play where we had a zone play to the left, and I don't know if y'all remember Tim Bowens.
Oh yeah,
Dolphins. But Tim Bowens is a guy you do not mess with. I know him to this day. I still don't mess with him. he is a big dude, right? So we're playing the Dolphins about 42-0. We run a zone play, and Tim Bowens beats the guard, and the guard jumps on back of his legs to cut him. It was borderline dirty. It wasn't necessary because if you look at the score, he didn't have to cut him from behind like that. So Tim jumps up, calls him all kind of names, whatever. I had to get in the middle between him and the guy and say, "Hey, Tim, calm down, Big Tim." He said, "Big Sis, that dude you play, he's dirty, he's nasty, so he's going cussing." So I'm hoping the guy behind me don't say nothing. So he's like, "Oh, yeah, whatever. Take your big behind back in the hug. That's why we whipping y'all ass. Look at the score. Look at the scoreboard." I said, why did he have to say anything? So Tim tells me, he said, "I don't care what the final score is. He said, I'm going to whoop your ass for the next 2 quarters, and you ain't going to like it. And I was like, oh, Lord. So the next play is like 3rd and 5. Mark Brunell drops back, whatever. Tim Bowens rips the guy, clubs and picks him up and throws him into Mark Brunell and sacks Mark Brunell with the guy on top of him. And he came back to the sideline, looked at me, and I said, hey, man. I said, you don't poke the bear when he's asleep. I said, you will. And that man, the guard had the next 2 quarters, he earned his paycheck that game. We won the game 62-7, but if you saw on film, Tim Bowens ripped him a mud hole that whole game. And I said, just certain guys you just don't. When he sleep, just let him sleep. The game is over. The game is wrapped up. Just don't get that man mad. And he did. And Tim he killed him for the rest of the game. And I just looked at him. I mean, he had a rough day. So, hey, trash talking happens. You can't imagine the amount of things that are said during games, pushing and shoving. You ain't this, you ain't that. Oh man! And I'm pretty sure nowadays with social media, guys go look up stuff to find out about guys. Which that ain't cool. I'm sure they do that kind of stuff, that kind of foolishness where they pull up information on guys and talk about their situations and just to see what kind of buzzes they push. We never went that far. Our trash talking was just a amount of, you ain't this, you ain't that, this and that. So, but I'm sure it's a whole nother level now.
Oh, I can imagine. Mr. Searcy, we have to go to a break, but we'd like to talk after the break. It's only a couple of minute break about you as you're now transitioning back to the Jacksonville. Do you have a couple more minutes with us?
Yeah, I've got a few more. I've got maybe about 5, 10, maybe 5 at the most.
In that case, let's go ahead and skip the break. I'm the owner. Nobody has to.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't. But we'll just say screw the break. I'm going to kind of paraphrase here, but in '95, your last year in the Steel City, you had players like Cordell Stewart, Bam Morris, Mark Bruner, Chad Brown, Kevin Green. You looked like this was a roster that was ready to go to the Super Bowl, and it seemed like you were the chief of the offensive line at that point. You were an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. So I have to ask, was it the money, the homesickness, the crazy women? What sent you back to Florida?
Well, I wasn't the big dog on the line. Listen, that I would never take that torch because Demonte Dawson is probably the best offensive lineman I ever played with. So Demonte was still the chief honcho on the offensive line, whatever it was. But it's funny how I chose Jacksonville because when the Super Bowl was over, maybe a week after the Super Bowl, I got a phone call from Bill Cowher. And he was going on vacation with his family in Virginia. And Coach Cowher told me, because I hadn't signed a deal with the Steelers free agency, Coach Cowher told me, Leon, I don't care what the front office says about you. He said, I want you to be a Steeler for life. He said, now I'm going on vacation with my family. He said, please promise me before you make any decision to give me a call. That was his exact words to me. I said, cool, Coach. I said, you got my word. So I'm actually in, me and my wife at the time, we went on vacation. Then we went on vacation for a week. Then we went to visit some family in Georgia. And Drew Rosenhaus was my agent at the time. And I told you specifically, I said, Drew, listen, I said, I don't care what team is out there. I said, Pittsburgh gets first dibs. I said, I don't care. I want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. He said, okay, Leon, I'm fine. He said, now, you know they're going to be hard asses. I said, I know. He said, but I'll get it done. I said, cool. So about a week, 2 weeks go by, nothing. I don't hear anything. So I get a call from Drew, and Drew says, Leon. He said, are you still on the Steelers? I said, yeah, of course. He said, I don't know if we're going to be able to make this happen. He said, there's a lot of money that's being dispersed out there, and you're not getting any of it. I said, well, what are you saying? He said, the Steelers won't move from the numbers we're trying to get. They're saying a lot of horrible things about you. I said, Drew, I don't believe you. I said, why would they say horrible things about me? He said, well, I tell you what. He said, I'm going to call them, and they won't know you're on the phone.